is a man's world.
You bet it is, son.
This is a man's world.
But it ain't nothing without a woman or a girl.
Greetings, everybody. I'm Kenneth Molefe, Senior, and this is ManCave. Welcome to the man's world. It's going to be a tremendous episode here with the First Lady. I really never wanted to invite her today, but she looked too good. I said, honey, you need to come with me.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, 7 ways an alpha male propose. So I want you to kind of help me with that, because I propose you surely like an alpha male.
That's
so
right.
it's a tremendous time. It's a tremendous time that we're living in. And I'm sure that this will be a tremendous episode that will impact and empower you. If you are a Christian man, if you're male, masculine, and if you are a man, surely this is the episode you need to watch. Invite as many people as you can. Please, guys, do remember, follow us on YouTube, and that is Grace Life with Kenneth Molefe Senior. On Instagram, we are Kenneth Molefe Senior. On Facebook, we are Kenneth Molefe. We are God Embassy, the Grace Life Church.
That's right.
We are Barbara Taylor Molefe. We are Kenneth. So please make sure you follow us on all of these social media handles, and it's going to tremendously change your life. We are actually behind the scene working on some tremendous content. What you think you're getting now is a quarter of what's coming, and it's going to be a tremendous time. And paradoxically speaking, if this has not changed your life, the next content that's coming through, it's going to definitely transform your entire eternity.
Amen.
And I'm so sure, because God has been sharing so much with us that it will blow your mind. So welcome to ManCave, honey.
Thank you. I feel like doing. I was like, Tom Cruise with the. Okay, I can't stand on the couch, but I'm like, I made it to ManCave, people.
I made it to ManCave.
I'm here.
That's so dramatic.
Ladies, I made it for us. All right.
Finally.
I'm on the inside.
You're on the inside.
Yes.
We're actually talking about this whole concept of being on the inside.
Yeah.
You can never get what's happening on the inside unless you're on the inside.
Correct.
Correct. And sometimes before gates are built, it's better to be on the inside, because then you won't need anybody to open the gate for you.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? So by the way, that's a principle. The timing of joining a particular sector determines whether you are outside the gate or inside the gate. When the gate is built and you're on the inside, you don't need anybody to give you access.
Yeah.
You are the one who then grant other people access.
That's right.
So better you be early, so that you'll be the one to give others, that's just the principle, So it's better that you're early now, you come so early to ManCave, because later on you'll be the one inviting other people.
Amen.
Glory to God.
Amen.
So all of my alpha males, where you at? If you are an alpha male, I want you to now start, writing alpha, because that's who you are.
Yeah.
The whole concept, behind an alpha male is really a concept derived from zoology. The animal that dominates a certain form of species is called an alpha.
Okay.
If you're in charge of a certain group of species,
yes.
If you are the superior in the creatures called flies, then you are an alpha there. If you are superior in the creatures called creatures of the sea, creatures of the ground, and all of that, you are an alpha in that sector. So you are an alpha in the realm of manhood. You understand what I'm saying? If anybody wants to understand what manhood is all about and what manhood is, they got to come to you, because you are a definition of an absolute man.
I know that.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and guess what? Nobody has to testify better about that but your wife.
Yeah.
your wife, a woman in your life, must tell that you have your thing together, baby. You have your thing together, you know, and that's in a plethora of ways, in all kinds of ways.
Yeah.
You gotta have it together. And let me tell you, nobody is born like that. It is a question of study, and it is a question of devotional, systematic study. You have to continuously learn in order for you to be able to master certain things in life. So today, we're talking about propositions, you know, and we're not talking about propositions, honey, in the context of the corporate world. But we're talking about romantically, because I know, the way she's looking, it's like she wants to talk about what we call business propositions. And we're not talking about that.
All right.
How you propose a woman is what we're talking about. So 7 ways an alpha male propose, and it's going to just blow your mind.
Amen.
It's definitely going
wait.
to blow your mind. So just think about this. Solomon, a man with a name, in Songs of Solomon, I mean, all of this is documented in poetic form.
Yes.
So you have to then study the poetry and understand the poetic genre that is used. You know, Solomon then begins to talk about his gardens and how his gardens need expansion.
Yeah.
And he's talking to the Shunammite woman. And it's quite interesting because he does not go to the woman who is perfectly polished. He goes to the woman who has a form of potential, but all of that is hidden. He goes to her, and the woman says, "Don't look upon me because I am dark and lovely." So she says, she's saying poetically, I know my skin is dark, but behind all of this darkness, there is a greater level of beauty.
Yeah.
You know, so dark and lovely actually took, you know, the name from this particular book of Songs of Solomon. And she gives a reason why her skin is dark. She says, because my brothers were angry with me, and therefore they neglected their duties. So now I have to take care of my family's garden, and my own I have not kept. So there are 2 forms of garden there. So there's a family garden that feeds the family. So out of that garden, then you have vegetable that's then given to the family for feeding.
Yes.
And then the second garden, it's her actual physiological body. So she says, I could not take care of this because I'm taking care of that.
Yes.
You know? And then she says, so the physical opacity that I'm faced with is as a result of my work ethic. And me taking responsibility. I did not have time to do my facials, and that's exfoliation. Did not exfoliate, and exfoliation, we know it's actually a skin process where you remove the dead skin cells in order for your skin to start, you know, to be able to breathe and all of that. So sometimes people aren't really dark. The issue is that they have not exfoliated, and they have a lot of dead skin cells on their face, and that's why they look a little bit dark. You see, sometimes you're not poor. The issue is that you cannot afford facials because your skin is a living membrane that has to be maintained, and it has to be treated. So Solomon goes to that kind of women, and he talks about vision. So the number one way, and that's a classic, and that's why I'm giving you the first one very quickly.
Yeah.
The number one way an alpha male proposes is casting the vision. You don't even talk about the physiological romantic attraction. You're not talking about a physical pocket hoods and how the Lord has put her together. You don't talk about her Coca-Cola, vivacious, hellacious, lascivious, whatever put together. You're not talking about that. You're talking about vision. And the whole thing about casting a vision is to tell a story of vulnerability. So I have a vision, but I cannot accomplish it alone. I need a helper.
That's right.
And that's what I did to you, right?
Definitely.
It's the golden way to propose. So you then invite her for dinner. And let's go eat together. Just go sit and all of that. And go to that particular, meeting like you're going to a serious business meeting. Carry a file or something. You know what I'm saying? Have your form along and carry a file and begin to read out of your notes, literally.
Yeah.
Cast the vision. I mean, if you are not my kind of man, I don't need to carry a file. I'm the whole library. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, if you want to be dramatic, you can literally carry a file and begin to say, this is what I want to accomplish. This is where I see myself in the next 5 years, and this is what I want to do, and this is what I'm all about. This is the family, what we call imperatorial. Imperatorial has to do with what is at the heart of why you're doing what you're doing. You understand? So every family has its own imperatorial.
Yes.
The contemporary word is organization. So you have the Trump's organization, and it's all about real estate. You have other, organization, and they're focused on the energy sector or that other sector. So you have to cast a clear vision. All right. So what are you selling? You're selling legacy. To say, listen, if you and I are going to, so how you sell your vision is you have to then be able to paint a picture without being imposing.
Yeah.
Paint a picture of importance in all that you want to do. So your responsibility as a man is to have a clear vision.
Yeah. Yeah.
And your second responsibility is to prompt what we call a mission. She must have a desire.
Yeah.
If you can make sure that she has an innate desire to want to help you fulfill what you have just explained.
Yeah.
Because you have used what I call your creative imaginative ability to paint a picture of where you're going. And now, because of the beauty of the picture, she sees herself in the painting. She can literally see herself in the painting.
Yeah.
And propositions, you have seen also in business, propositions is really about selling a story. It's about, because people don't love facts.
They love
All
stories.
right? They love stories because, facts don't have feelings. And people buy into feelings. They don't buy into facts, And that is just the majority of mankind that we're dealing with.
Yeah.
So even if your story is factual, your story must have a beautiful narration.
Yes.
Your ability, and that's why I have a problem with churchmen and Christian men who cannot propose, because how dare do you read the Bible and fail to express yourself?
Yeah, that point that you just raised now, where you say, you have Christian men. I was actually thinking about it when you.
Yeah.
And I know that with most of your sons.
Yeah.
That is why I say there has to be teachings.
There has to be teaching.
Teachings on
That's
you know,
right.
like what you're doing now with ManCave, to say this is how you do it.
This is how you do it.
Because just simply thinking that somebody just wakes up, a Ben Gurion will just wake up and know how to do it. It's a bit unfair.
No, it's not.
But I remember you even said, you talked about the imperatorial.
Yeah.
And how, we got most of our sons to say, okay, listen, you're a man and we're not going to have visionless man.
Yeah.
Because then that would be, us contributing to people perishing. Because where there's no vision, the people perish.
Yeah.
So what then happened was, you were like, okay, you want to work with us, especially those that are close. Go and work on your imperatorial.
Oh, yeah, work on your imperatorial.
This is what the Molefe imperatorial is all about. I'm not saying do it like this, but this is something to this is like an example. This is what I'm all about. You understand? So go put your own together.
Now,
and
honey, you tell them what is it that I said I'm all about. And as a result of that, where are we?
Yeah.
Because of what I have shared with you the first day we went out for dinner. Yes.
So you were able to structure it out in the sense to say, listen, I know, you know that I'm Kenneth Molefe.
Yeah.
But if you are going to be with me, you then need to understand what I'm all about and where I'm trying to go.
Yeah.
And then you were able to put it into category to say, this is what I live and die for.
And die for.
All right?
Yeah.
This is me, and this is what my family is going to be all about.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about it, then, you decide, am I in? I mean, if in talking your vision, then you speak about how the mission comes into play.
That's right.
The baby kicks in the woman to say, no, but I see myself there. So you started explaining to say, first and foremost, a ministry. All right.
Because God's calling is on my life.
God's calling is upon
That's
my
right.
life.
That's
All
right.
right. And then, secondly, I'm business.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm an
Because it's the
entrepreneur.
business that's going to assist me to do my ministry.
That's right.
All right.
That's
And
right.
then thirdly, we are all about philanthropy.
Yeah.
So those are the three pillars that we spoke about. And obviously then you fill in the boxes under each, category. And
Yes.
we say, this is, even, our youngest child will be able to tell you that's
Yes.
because, you continually speak about, because the vision also needs to be updated.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
update it
Yeah,
continuously.
I remember, how many years, what I thought would be fulfilled in 5 years,
Yeah, we did it.
did
You
it in,
you're like, ministry side, because you were always writing
Yes,
your
yes.
relationship with the ministry side. We were like, okay, this is my 5-year plan. Because
5-year
you
plan.
did a 5-year
Yeah,
plan.
5-year plan.
Yeah. And then also on the business side.
Yeah.
All right. And then also on the
Philanthropy.
philanthropy. And then what was meant to take 5 years, through the mission, we were able to accomplish it in 1 year.
in 1 year.
You understand? And I remember that's also that's
My
that's
goodness.
what then prompted you to write down your 100-year plan.
The 100-year
because
plan.
then that has to do with
Way
your children's
beyond my
children,
lifetime.
way beyond
And the
your
reason
lifetime,
why I
the
did that is
legacy.
because by God's grace, I got then to be married to a woman that's capacitated to not only have strategy with me, because a man will put together a strategy, but a woman will help him with the speed.
Yeah.
Okay, and we were then able to accomplish that within a short space of time. And now, how did I know that I need to now see beyond the 10 years? I have to see beyond the 20 years, is because of the kind of speed and grace that is on her life. And that's when, privately, I then started working on a 100-year plan.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And this is another way to make sure that conversations in the family, evolve around this. You contextualize everything. Our conversations, our interactions, our contact with people, and relationships that we have on the outside are determined by the family vision. You know what I'm saying? Much of what we have today is as a result of the proposition. The way I propose you is how we got to be where we are. And Kenneth Molefe Holdings was part of how I proposed you. I used Kenneth Molefe Holdings with multiple subsidiaries, and I remember I didn't even know there was such a word as a subsidiary. I used to say divisions.
Yeah.
and then there was ministry.
Yes.
And then I was telling you about ministry and where I feel the Lord is taking me. And I was talking about, honey, we're going to feed the poor together.
Yes.
And I remember that was my catch line, right? By the way, remember, you need to have what is called a transitional sentence.
Yeah.
If you want to take it higher, if you want to take it low, you have to have a transitional sentence. If you're going to speak like a philosopher, you gotta have a transitional sentence.
Yeah.
And my transitional sentence is, and the poor will be taken care of.
Yeah.
Just imagine the multitudes of people
Yeah.
we're going to be able to take care of. You work on the emotion. You know what I'm saying? You work on the emotion because facts don't have feelings and they're not good enough. You gotta have a story. So number one, cast the vision. That's how an alpha male proposes. You cast the vision. You sell the legacy. That's what you do. You know what I'm saying? That's very key. All right. So now I'm going to give you some few things that are very important, gentlemen. Those of you who are probably single and you really want to you want to have a big fish anointing. You want to catch a big fish. You got to do it like an alpha male, and an alpha male does not eat small fish. They all eat big fish. So if you want to catch big fish, you got to do it right. So here are 7 ways you can turn, on a woman and really, really, really get her attention. And they're small little things that you do. It's not complex. Life is not complex. When it's too difficult, it's probably fake. So number 1, respect her time. All right? Respect her and respect her time. Her time is very important. All right? So you're not going to invite somebody to dinner and start talking nonsense. There has to be something of great substance. This is what we call golden conversations. You must make sure the conversation you will have with her, she will definitely not have with somebody in the long run. You know, it's your responsibility. So respect her and respect her time. All right. Treat her well. All right. Treat her very well. Number 2, show her genuine admiration for her talents, dreams, and goals. So it's not just about you. You have to have the ability to listen to her. Allow her to tell you where she's going and what is it that she's passionate about. And if you are not able to see her in your vision, don't bother her. Let her go. By the way, remember years ago I was telling you about dating.
Yeah.
Dating is simply getting to know somebody with no strings attached. So show her genuine admiration for her talents and dreams and goals. All right? And that's if they are in the context of the vision that you have as a man, because her talents must then, Barbara has over 10 years, you know, in experience in the corporate world. So I knew that experience and the talent that she has will definitely be suitable for the kind of vision that I have. Now that I have this corporate company that I have a dream of, her kinds of talents, her kind of ability will definitely be suitable to where I'm going. And what best way to tell a woman, you're going to be my CEO?
And you know, when you say that, I'll just bring in a little, you know, most of the time when we speak to our ladies, there is, you know, there's a notion where, you know, the ladies will be probably sitting around, even the men, and saying, I'm praying for a good man or the right man, you know, stuff like that. And then, but the real question is, you should be praying to be the right person. You understand? You should be praying to be ready capacity-wise. Because if somebody is coming to you and then they're coming to propose, like your proposal is, I want to see what skills you have. You know, I want to see what you have that is going to assist me. I'm trying to check out if you are a suitable helper for this vision that I have.
That's right.
You know?
Yes.
So that's what we need to when your singlehood, when you are still single, it is create capacity to be that person that will be suitable when that person finds you. You know? And people just sit around and I hope they find that then they find you and you are empty. You're an empty gong. Then what? You know? Creates problems.
Wow. That's really powerful. So another thing is that you have to find ways to emotionally validate her. Emotional validation for, you know, a feminine being is very important. She wants to know that she's important. She wants to know that she's pivotal. And she's an important and significant part of the vision and the plan that you have. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why when I was with Barbara, all I was selling was this particular idea. You are very key to where I'm going. And if you're not running with me, I don't even know how I'm going to achieve all of this.
And that's the very thing that, you know, even when that validation that you speak about, it is in moments where, you know, you would validate me and say, you know what, you are capable, you did this, you are capable of doing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That a person is even able to reach to higher heights. You know, to levels where you never thought you would attain or you would reach because of such validation. You know,
That's really incredible. All right. Now, you see, validation, guys, you know, that's what we call love language, words of affirmation and all of that. It's amazing how Barbara and I was talking about this, I think 2 days ago. It's amazing how you can be so gifted and not know it. You have not come to consciousness of how gifted you are. And people who are truly gifted don't really feel gifted. It's people who are really not gifted who feel really gifted. It's quite an interesting phenomenon, you know. And when you have an incredible gifted woman, like the likes of my wife, you gotta have the ability to make sure that they come to consciousness. There's something, you know, in psychology they call conscious competence, knowing that you know who you are. Knowing that you know who you are, it's the responsibility of an alpha male to make sure that you come to consciousness, and consciousness does not mean the absence of substance. It simply means the awareness of substance. And the fact that you have the substance does not mean that you are aware that you got it. You know what I'm saying?
And you know that a very good example is because you love boxing.
Yeah, well, I love boxing. Really love boxing.
Yeah. And you made this illustration for me because, you know, I used to have an issue with Floyd.
Floyd Money Mayweather.
Yeah, because I was like, no, but this guy is. But when you took time to break it down for me to say the kind of this guy when he speaks, he's not obviously he's proud of his work, right? But it is not baseless pride. He is proud because he knows who he is, right? And he knows who he is because of the work that he puts in. His confidence is in, like, I'm not just confident, you understand? I'm confident because I know that I put in work and I get results.
In order to produce this kind of result. My goodness. Okay, now, here's the thing, again, guys. So, you know, the first thing is making sure that you cast the vision, okay? You cast the vision with clarity, and not only with clarity, but concisely, because there has to be a written vision. So the vision must be written concisely. So even if it means you leave the file at the table, and then she goes home with the file to study the vision, and then later give you some sort of feedback, that's very key. So that's how you propose number one. All right, you cast the vision. Number two, you have to then be a salesman. Okay. And then you don't sell what you have, but you sell what you're going to have. That's very key. You then talk like a salesman. You're selling what is it that you can accomplish together, and not what you have already accomplished. It's a turn-off to talk about what you have. I already see what you have, so why are you telling me about it? I mean, some stupid dude yesterday was talking about what is it? What is the name of this house?
Double story.
Double story. And I was, how stupid can you be to brag about a double story? You should see my house plan. I mean, come on, man. You know? How is a double story a sign of I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've been to the ghetto. I've seen double stories made out of a shack. So you won't impress me. You know what I'm saying? So you don't sell what you have, but you sell what you can have potentially if the woman joins you in this journey of building.
Yes.
Because there's something so powerful about a narrative. And narrative has the ability to build the picture. And when you can build a picture, the woman now is enabled to see herself in the picture. That's number two. So storytelling is very key. You see, I mean, as a preacher, I'm not a storyteller, to be honest with you. I have to study people like Cage Tache to be able to tell a story. I'm not a storyteller. That's not my greatest skill. My greatest skill is definition of concepts. That's my greatest skill. And I have to study him in order to excel in his realm of giftedness. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I'm so good in my realm of giftedness. He's now some sort of a study. I study him in order to be good at storytelling.
And I mean, that's one of the things that, you know, for somebody like me, I mean, somebody else could probably have been sitting in this chair. But the difference is, if somebody was looking at, okay, Kenneth does not have anything. I always say the difference is I fell in love with obviously your vision and then the potential. it's all about potential. When God opens your eyes and you're able to see that
That's
there is
right.
potential there,
Yeah.
and you as a woman also, you are able to, make your man see the kind of potential that he has. And potential is not only potential;
goodness.
it's got levels, because when you reach another level, I'm able to see, you have actualized that potential. You get to another level. There's potential for another level. We are
That's powerful.
we are at the level where we are now, but for you, there's potential for another level. You understand?
My
There's
goodness.
1,000 rand potential, R1 million potential, and when you're at R1 million, I'm like, no, but you are R1 billion or $1 billion potential.
Yeah.
You understand? So
My
it's
goodness.
at that level.
So potentiality and actuality
Yeah.
are very key, and the bridge between potentiality and actuality becomes very important. One hype a baby girl, So in order for you to get to actual, because it does not help anybody to have a great potential if they don't come to a place of actuality.
Yes.
Because we have a lot of people that have great potential, great potency, great power, great gift, and all of that, but they don't come to actuality. So the ability to motivate somebody to come to actuality is really the ability of an alpha male or an alpha woman.
The realization of your potential leads you to the actuality. I'm learning from the best.
Yeah, that's powerful. I like that. You see,
I'm
now you're taking
representing,
over the
ladies.
show. She's taking over the show now. She's taking over the show. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, let me just maybe, like, for instance, let's give them something. Let me give you an appetizer. Have you ever been in the shop and then you see somebody really beautiful that you're scared to approach? You're in the store and you see somebody like really fine and well, what I know about your weave is that it's really long and it cost me a lot. And they have a weave like this, so expensive, and you wonder, my goodness, I don't think she's my type. And funny enough, women like that are the most vulnerable. By the way, hear it from an alpha male. The weakest link is the one that looks like the strongest link.
Yeah.
That's just psychology.
Yeah.
So how do you approach, somebody's wondering right now, how do you approach a woman that scares you? Now think about this. We're meeting for the first time. And then you're probably on the line. I said, hey, ma'am, how are you doing? And you say what? You say, hello, how are you? And you're probably cold, right? Because you're wondering, where is this,
What is it?
shady, dry man coming from?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I say, I'm surely it should be hard to be you. You wonder, what are you talking about? Whether you like it or not, there's going to be a
There's
conversation.
going to be, you're intrigued.
Yeah, you're intrigued to say, what are you talking about? I'm saying to you, it's really hard being you. And she looks at you and it's like, what are you talking about? What do you mean it's hard being me? I mean, being as beautiful as you are, and then you have all kinds of men coming your way. It does not matter. The conversation has started.
You've broken the
You
ice.
have broken the ice. And then you laugh about it. Because now she wants to agree that, yes, I am beautiful and it's hard. At the same time,
let me be humble about it.
she wants to be humble about it.
Yeah.
You have put her in an uncomfortable position
Yeah.
that you were in before you approached her.
Yes.
Oh, come on, talk to me now.
Now you're in the power seat.
Now you're in the power seat. You're running the show.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And now you talk about how fine she is. You push it a little bit. You say, you're really beautiful. Surely you have the kinds of me coming from all walks of life. And when she wants to confirm that, yes, the kinds of you are always coming my way, then you make a distinction of who you are to say, but I'm not a generic kind of a gentleman. There's something very, very open, something different about me. I have my own level of distinction. And now she wants to know what makes you different. And that's when you ask her, okay, let's sit over and drink and let me take my time to break it down to you. You're God. Cheers to that. You know, it's over. You can close the show. if I don't even go further and give you the other ways to propose, I've given you golden classic examples right there. I just don't get it. My difficulty, Barbara, is that how can we read the Bible and not have a plethora of ways to talk to women? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Look at what Boaz is doing. So Ruth is in the midst of everybody. Yeah, Ruth is in the midst of everybody, and that's the third way to propose, by the way. Ruth is in the midst of everybody, and now he's telling fellas waiting for him to say, drop a little bit for her. Drop a little bit for her. You know what I'm saying? In other words, find a way to make her life easy.
Yeah, I mean, provide a bit.
That's number 3. Find a way to make her life easy. And then when you do that, what are you doing? You are building a picture of yourself as a provider. You understand what I'm saying? And don't do that to a gold-digging slave mama. She's going to suck you dry until you're broke. But you have to be discerning. You have to be discerning. And what I mean by that is there's something in you that will tell you you're talking to a praying queen.
But remember how Boaz said that because the lady was in the field. That's why he said, drop some for her.
Drop something
she was
for her.
Already in the
she
field.
was already in the field. So you don't make somebody's life easy when they're not in the field. Baby mama be bad. You know what I'm saying? So you drop something for her if she's already in the field, you know, and that's when you come across as what? As a provider.
And whose field was she in?
She was in Boaz's field. My goodness. So number 3, you have to be a kinsman redeemer. You know, people are actually thinking that we actually have notes. We don't have notes. We're just flowing.
You know, life experiences.
Yeah, life experiences.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to be able to make her life easy and speak to her needs indirectly when you have not proposed.
Yeah.
You speak to her needs indirectly when you have not proposed. But then you will speak to her needs directly when you have proposed.
Yeah.
Do you hear that, gentlemen? That's very, very important. All right. If that is very powerful for you, just write alpha, 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 alpha. Alpha, 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 alpha. Because that's a classic right there.
Yeah.
That's what we call a golden law that will definitely change your life. You see, as a man, you don't want to be a nomadic. You don't want to be a nomadic man. You know, Abraham was not a nomadic man. He comes from opulence. I mean, Abraham's family background, they were building towers. And they wanted to reach a realm, a heavenly realm that was not reached by normal men. So he was not a nomadic man.
Yeah.
He comes from a tremendously impressive background where people are trying to reach a life of heaven without God.
You know, I just had a thought because I know that the Lord just dropped a thought. I know that one of your cry has always been how, you know, you took a look at the when we were in a church service. And there was a lot of women, you know, we go to church, and then there was a few men in the front row seats. And then your cry was, how do we get the man to come to church, to Christ, you know? And, you know, through this show, the ManCave, I see that happening. You know, through this show, where you know, the gathering of men and how to be that Christian man, and you know, discussing the
Real
hardcore
issues.
truth, real
My
issues that
goodness.
men are faced with. Having that platform where I always say, like, when you are in a marriage, you need to feel safe. To
Yeah.
say this is a safe platform
Yeah.
for men
For
to
men,
discuss, because
that's
it's not
right.
easy for men to open up and have
Yeah.
discussions. And so really, I see that grace to say,
Wow.
the Lord is really going to be bringing the man. The Lord is going to show Himself
My goodness.
to say, you know what, the church and the man. Yeah.
So the fourth way to propose is transparency. All right. This is all spontaneous, by the way. Transparency is very key because you are now able to appeal to the emotional reality of her makeup.
Yes.
Because women are emotional. We all know that.
Yes.
And men are logical. So you don't want to be too logical.
Yeah.
You don't want to be too too intellectual, but you also want to be emotional.
Yeah.
And sometimes your emotional vulnerability and your fear for things like relationships, marriage, and all of that could be very key to the conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that take out somebody and go out for dinner and now be saying, my sister, I invited you here, but I'm really afraid because I don't know how this thing is going to work. I don't want to be hurt. Don't be like that. Don't be too dry. Know when to put butter on the bread. You know what I'm saying? So take her out, have generic conversations and all of that. And if she talks about relationship, just know how to create an intense moment and say, you know what? I would really love to be that man who has a beautiful family and takes care of his family and works hard for his family. But here is my fear. And your intense, your eye contact is right, your body language is right, and everything. Create that intensive moment that will be a memory for her. You understand what I'm saying? And then she goes back home and she thinks about that. To say, you know what, that man said right there was very, very pivotal. It was from the depths of his heart. And that's why I say to men, you have to be in touch with your feminine side of your manhood, and that is, if you have to be emotional, you have to be in charge of it and be able to create the emotion.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? With us as men, the trick is you have to learn the art of turning the emotional aspect of your being on, because we are so much in charge and so logical. And therefore, you need to know when to let it go and just flow with it.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? If you have to hold her hand, like this and say, you know what, I really want to give myself to you, but I'm really afraid. I'm really afraid because, love makes one vulnerable. Love has a tendency to position you in a very vulnerable place, that the only security that you have is the assurance that you're really loved. And that's just the mystery about loving somebody. When what makes me, Barbara, so confident about, what we have is that knowledge. It's the knowledge it's the Noah in your knowledge that you have, that, you know what, no matter what happens, I know my wife really, really, really honors who I am.
Yeah,
and then she has that, classified information and that reverence for who I am. You understand what I'm saying? And when you know it, it gives you a sense of rest.
Yeah.
There's nothing as painful as a restless spirit when you're dealing with a woman. I'm telling you. When you feel like, you know what, my position in her life is not solidified. You don't even know how to operate with a sense of validation. You come across as needy. You come across as weak. You come across as too attached. You come across as too clingy. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have.
There's no rest.
There's no rest. There's no assurance.
There's no rest. Yeah. There's no rest. So when you speak about transparency, it tells me about authenticity.
Yeah.
Because I know that, when you are a woman and you are looking to get into a serious relationship, or what women look for as well, is that authenticity, you know. So transparency goes hand in hand, you know. If you are,
very key.
and if you are
That's the third one, right?
yeah, and if you are proposing and you are proposing for marriage,
Yeah.
right? We're talking about proposal with a view, all right, to go into marriage. Obviously, then as a man, you are able to, because I don't think it's always the case where the man is always able to be vulnerable with. I mean, you have multiple girlfriends or whatever, and not necessarily be vulnerable with, you know. But then you get that one where you say, okay, I'm able to show, or you know, to tune into my feminine side and be authentic and be transparent. Because how are you going to explain your vision if there's no transparency and authenticity? You know,
That's powerful.
Yeah.
All right, now the fourth one, which is very key, is what I call the indirect proposition. The indirect proposition works this way: you don't propose her, but you propose her family. You know, and I'm not saying you go to her family and say, no, I would love to date your daughter. Oh God, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, there's ways you know how to integrate yourself in somebody's family.
Yes.
I mean, that's if you're really planning to spend the rest of your life with somebody.
Yeah.
You know, there's a way to integrate yourself in somebody's family and make yourself a significant part of her family indirectly. You understand what I'm saying?
That's very important, because there's a problem if somebody wants to be in your life,
but they don't want to be part of your family members.
They don't want to be part of your family members. They want to separate you from your family. They should be bringing unity, not division.
Now, remember this. I know you thought you were in charge, but you were not really in charge. I knew what was going on. So my wife, years ago, takes me to her brother's house, my brother-in-law, and the purpose of the gathering was to test me out. And I could read the situation, so I could read between the lines. I was like, baby girl, you don't know what you're up for. I'm about to make every member of your family fall in love with me. So I was driving an old classic Mercedes-Benz during the time. So they said, no, you got to leave your car here. Going to this private place where so I left my car there with one of my boys, and I got into, was it your car or his car? Yours, right?
Yes.
I got into her car, and then we went to the brother's house, you know. Now, my primary, you know, game plan was, I gotta know what everybody needs here. Not like what is it that's appealing to them. And number one, I could see my brother-in-law wants to really know, am I really a man of God? So I have that sorted. I could see the wife. The wife is the kind of a woman who wants to be sure, will you take care of my sister? That kind of a thing. And then there was an auntie. An auntie is such a joyous person. She wants to know, if you get married to Barbara, are we going to have fun, or you're stuck up and boring? So I could read between the lines. You know, the kids were not really a problem because I already have that sorted. So we get to his house, and when we get to his house, and then he says to me, do you want to maybe braai, you know, help me braai as the women are preparing the food? I said, no, for sure, man, let's go. We get outside. I said, no, great opportunity. It's just me and him. So I'm going to work on that boy, you know. So we are sitting outside, and I said to the Lord, I said, you got to release an anointing right now on me, prophetic anointing. And I felt it coming on me. And I started talking about the journey of the lost tribes of Israel all over the world, because I had inside information that he was a Jew from the Lemba tribe. So I started talking about that. I spoke a little bit of Hebrew, and I was sure that I know better Hebrew than him, because I did intro to Hebrew. And I started talking Hebrew and started explaining to him. So this Hebrew word It means this. This he man started crying while bragging. I was like, I got you. You know, you're not a problem now. You know.
Yeah.
We went to the house. I was looking at the wife, and I'm thinking, so she's my next target. And how do I treat her nice? And everybody was sitting, and she was coming towards the table. I stood up. I pulled the chair for her. I said, "You can sit, ma'am." And I made her comfortable. And the fact that I pulled the chair for her to sit down, I knew that is not the magic. And there was this auntie who loves a lot of party. You know what I'm saying? Man, I went to the kitchen. I put together a drink for her. I brought a drink. I said, "It's so lovely to meet you. I'm so glad you're here." I gave her a drink, and she was mesmerized. By the end of the day, I was in charge of the entire meeting. Yet, all of these people wanted to check me out. So, so indirect proposition is powerful.
Yeah.
Indirect proposition. If you have to go the other way to get to this woman, because I knew I've already made a proposition here. So in order for her to really be, you know, there's something called sinking sand, baby. When you move, you sink deeper. All right? That's one of the most dangerous ways to die in Egypt, by the way. If you fall into sinking sand, if you panic, you die quicker, because then it's called quicksand. It sucks you in.
Yes.
The more you panic, the more you... So these guys were on sinking sand, and they didn't even know it. The more they planned all these ways to evaluate me, the deeper they were sinking into this personality called Kenneth. All right? And the brother, at the end of the day, because I wanted feedback, I said, "Hey, honey, I hope everything was fine. I hope everybody's happy." He says, "No." My brother says, "You are really a man of God." I said, "No, I got him." And then the sister-in-law, "He's such a gentleman." The other one was like, "He's not boring. I thought he's one of these stuck-up preachers." Now I knew I have the whole family. When she took me home to Vanda, and my mother-in-law was sitting there, and you're talking to an evangelist. I mean, she was actually an international evangelist. My mother-in-law, she was preaching to people in Ghana, preaching to people in the United States, London, so she was quite a prominent figure. So the only way to appeal to her was to make sure that she understands that I carry the heart of God. You know, to carry the heart of God. When she would share something with me, I would make sure that you know, I digest all of that, and later on I talk to her about it and all of that. It was like a relationship between, you know, brothers and sisters in the Lord. That's how it, you know, it grew and everything. If she wanted to pray, she would talk to me.
Yeah.
You know,
Call Kenneth.
and call Kenneth. We need to pray about this, and that's how I got to be part of this beautiful family. And probably I need to say this, honey, that I'm so grateful. You did not only give me my own family, but you made me part of one of the most beautiful families on the face of the earth. You know, I really feel privileged. You know,
Amen.
so thank you. You know?
Thank you.
Thank you for saying yes to the proposition. All right.
Yeah.
The fifth way to propose. I'm coming up with these things, man. The fifth way to propose. So, when you really want to do it like an alpha male, guys, talk to the friends. Okay? Talk to the friends, and the friends will be used as what we call seed casters. There's a machine that you put seeds inside, and then you just have to drive it through the land, and it starts casting seeds. Okay? So you don't have to go there on the field yourself carrying seed. All you have to do is to put enough seed inside the seed casters, and the seed casters will now start casting seed. So in other words, you do it without working. So the best way to propose a woman is to propose her friends. Because sometimes the people who will influence her to say yes are the people closest to her. So if you can propose, and you know, this is what we call value proposition. You know, why will it be important for me to be a part of her life, and how will it benefit you all? And I'm not talking about, no, I'll buy you guys drinks. No, I'm not talking about that nonsense. That's shallow stuff. I'm talking about this. And what I mean is, if I'm part of this woman's life, guys, now you get to have a friend in me. You know, be concerned about their well-being.
The well-being.
You know, be concerned about their well-being. Speak to their well-being. Care about their well-being. And that's why, you know, I said to one of my boys, he said, you know, I'm interested in this particular girl, but she walks around with these, you know, 3 ugly girls. You know, I don't even know how to talk to her because they are always making sure that I don't see her. Don't give attention to the one you want. Give attention to the one you don't want.
They'll send the message.
And the one you don't want will take you to the right person. Don't give attention to the prettiest. You're becoming too obvious. If 4 women are sitting together and you want this particular one who's very pretty, compliment the 3. Greet the one you like, but compliment the 3. To say, hey, darling, how are you doing? And she says, no, I'm fine. Ooh, you guys are looking beautiful. Look at you.
Like
you talk about this one, you talk about this one, you talk about this one. You're ignoring this one. When they go, they'll be she'll be now say, but she didn't say anything about me. That's what we call upsetting the equilibrium. All right? Because we know that every generic nomadic thinker will go for the beautiful one and will want to talk to the beautiful one, even isolate the beautiful one. That's when you irritate the 3. Don't do that. Don't do that. Ignore the beautiful one, but give her special greeting. How are you, darling? You're looking. You don't even talk about how she's looking. How are you, darling? No, I'm fine. Good to see you. You guys look beautiful. Then you talk about this one. You talk about this one. You talk about this girl. This one, and you say, you guys have a great day. And that's if you're sure you're going to see them again. No, you guys have a great day. Don't talk about the beautiful one. Then walk away. That 3 will do the job on the 1 when you're gone. Because everybody will want to now protect this personality that just complimented them. Because remember, everybody always compliments this one.
Yes.
If you compliment the 3, the 3 will now want to stand for you. And now, the one you want will want you to say, then this guy must be special.
Yeah.
Because everybody always gives me attention. And he's not giving me attention. He's giving these
other
3
ones.
mohos attention. So something is going on here. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, it works. Trust me. That's number what?
Number 5. Number 6. Number 5.
Number 5. So we are left with the 2. So people, and most men need to understand that. Most men need to understand it. You cannot be in love with one woman and hate who she's with. You gotta cherish what's around her. Because most beautiful women have insecurities, and that's why they need, you know, the nomadic looking women around them in order to keep reminding them. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, that's just the reality of our societal, you know, dynamics. That's just that is just what's going on. And that's why it's so hard to see 4 beautiful, good-looking women walking together. You hardly see that. There's always some random chicks walking around the beautiful, you know, you know. So you need to find a way to work around that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even probably the sitting together. Don't offer her, you know, a drink. Offer the rest of the guy. They're sitting probably at the restaurant and drinking whatever they're drinking. Don't go to the one you want and say to you, would you like if I buy you a drink? No, buy the 3 and ask the 3, will she like a drink as well? Huh? Don't ask her, ignore her. Because who you ignore is most likely to give you attention because they're wondering why you're not giving me attention in the first place. Number 6. We're almost done, honey.
We're almost there.
Yeah, we're almost there. Number 6, and this is quite interesting. Please don't ever forget it. Number 6. Number 6 is, in the church context, this becomes very pivotal. Okay? Very, very pivotal. Very, very, very pivotal. Very, very pivotal. You see, most church boys are most likely to be friend-zoned.
Okay.
Okay. They're most likely to put you on a friend zone because You're the guy they want to pray with, but they don't want to
see
play
you
with.
as,
They want to pray with you, but they don't want to play with you. All right? And most church girls, trust me when I say this, most church girls would rather have the guy on the outside to play with and have the guy on the inside to pray with. They really love the guy they're praying with. But at the same time, the guy they're praying with is just so boring. They don't think the guy will be able to play with her. So we'll entertain this one in the church, but then go out with the one on the outside. Look, I just don't even understand how is it that people who have not received Christ are better celebrated by women than men who have received Christ. I just don't get it. Doesn't make sense. When you look at the entire Bible, it does not make sense. It means something is wrong with our preaching, with how we teach our men and how we speak to our men. You know what I'm saying? Because, you see, a Christian man is a plethora of experiences. He's spiritual. Okay? He's spiritual, he's physical. He's also solical, and he's also sexual. So there's a plethora of things you can explore. So one of the ways to really propose women in the church is to give her a taste, to give them a taste of your plethora of personality. Don't give her a church kind of experience all the time. No. Sometimes go intellectual. Talk about some things that are happening on the outside.
Yes.
Sometimes talk about things that are happening in real. Just be real. You see, the problem with church people is that they don't know how to bridge the gap between revelation and reality. All right? And sometimes the woman does not need revelation, she needs reality. So can you be real? You know what I'm saying? Can you be real? All right? Can you be real? Can you be real? I mean, come on, man. You know, you don't want to be, like, for instance, I'll give you an example. Do you know there are church men today who are married, who are playing Benjamin Dube in their bedrooms? You know what I'm saying? They give women lifts after church sometimes, and guess what they're playing? We just listen to gospel in the church. You're now playing gospel in the car. So as a woman, you're telling me will be our full-time kind of stuck-up life. And definitely you will be my friend. I'll friend zone you because you have no touch of reality. You're so spiritual, you're earthly useless. And sometimes you're so earthly, you're so spiritually useless. So bridging the gap between your spirituality and the physical realm of your life, it's very, very important. You understand what I'm saying? So now, the sixth way to propose is to give a woman an experience of a plethora of your personality. Let her, especially the woman you're interested in, let her know that you have a plethora, you know, of things that makes you who you are. You can be extremely spiritual and really provocative. Just be weird sometimes. Just maybe like for instance, isn't it, you know, growing up, you do know that we would call, hey man, let's pray at 12 o'clock at night. Let's pray together. You call, my sister, wake up. This is the time to pray. We have that prayer point. And sometimes just call her, you know, and breathe on her neck in her ear on the phone. Just be weird like that. Give her an experience she never had with you. You know what I'm saying? And start talking about, oh, it's so refreshing talking to you this time of the morning. So she knows that you're not just about the spiritual morning glory. You can also give her physiological, erotical morning glory. Yeah, I felt the anointing. You know what I'm saying? It's very important. That's the sixth way to propose. Am I doing good, babe?
You're doing great. You're doing great.
That's very important, guys. I mean, who am I preaching to? You know, am I preaching to somebody?
You're preaching.
It's very important.
Yeah.
You know, it's very important.
Yeah.
Some time ago, we were in Venda. One of my pastors, had an experience. There was this quite, you know how then the women serve, right? I mean, one of the things that got me married was because of how, you know, you serve, you know. And the woman came and he looked at one of my pastors and said to me, what else do you need, sir? And she bowed and she like give her a slight bow. And the man was vulnerable, like looking at her like, wow, you know, kind of like, whew, what kind of respect is that? And then I said, okay, for dessert, my wife and I will have this and this. And then she said, can I choose for you, sir? And then she said, okay, you can choose for me. And she came with the dessert, and the guy enjoyed the dessert. And the woman came and said, did you enjoy it, sir? I said, I'm so happy that you enjoyed the dessert. And she was like flirtatious. You know, she was flirtatious, but it had a level of class.
Yes.
And guess what? Some slave mama came in. And when the slave mama came in, the same guy was like, I want that one. I want that one. Now, here was the trick. I said, okay, go after her. Now, the same guy is looking to see, where is that lady? I can't go for that one when that one is around. I said, right there, you have the scenario.
Yeah.
That already tells you who is the wife material. The woman that you are afraid of, the woman that you respect, the woman that gives you a sense of importance, that you cannot behave a certain way. That's the kind of a woman you marry. You don't marry the woman you want to go and pounce on. No, you marry the woman who makes you wonder if it's pouncing on her right. That's the kind you marry. And I was saying to him, that's the revelation right there, who you should want. Because sometimes, you know, we have to then learn to make a distinction between what we want to pounce on and what we want to rest in. You know what I'm saying? And that's the trick with most Christian men. That's the trick with most Christian men. They don't know how to make a clear distinction between the two realities. You understand? So I was looking at him and I was saying, if that woman makes you feel that way, and you want to behave in an honorable way because of her presence, that's the woman you want to marry. I mean, honey, your presence in my life has kept me away from a lot of things. And that's what a presence of woman should do for every man. You understand what I'm saying? Well, you got to hear me loud and clear, man. You got to hear me loud and clear. The seventh way to propose is to sell the respect and love phenomenon.
Love that.
All right? Is to sell the respect and love phenomenon. And how does it work? If you then get to make her understand that relationships get to be healthy because of an invigorating cycle. Loving her, respecting him, loving her, respecting him, loving her, respecting him, loving her, respecting. So you get into a relationship because of the confidence that you have in what you are able to offer. And that is, I know the kind of love I'm ready to give you.
Yes.
And I'm sure that the kind of love I have for you will inspire you to respect me. And when you respect me, that will also energize me even for the better, to even love you better.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we're caught up in the euphoria. Most men want to come and say, I really, really love you. I don't even know what to do with myself. That women will take advantage of that nonsense that's coming out of your mouth. I don't know what to do. I can't sleep. My mind is not working properly. When I see you, it's like this medulla oblongata is fighting this part, and oh. Your proposition. What is it? Your proposition should be, listen, I know the kind of love I have for you, and I know that if you get to be loved like that, you'll be inspired to honor and respect me. So the confidence that I have is in the love that I will give you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You see, an alpha male, Barbara, is not the man that feels the drive and the euphoria of love, but is the man that has the ability to continuously and devotionally make a decision to love in season and out of season.
And out of season. Yeah.
That's a real man.
Yeah.
It's not a feeling of love. And that's why men have a tendency to take advantage of women who love them, but would cherish women who honor and respect them.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? I mean, I'm with you because of the respect that you give me. I'm not with you because you love me.
Yeah.
I don't need love. I'm with her because of the respect. I mean, I want to be treated like a king, and she treats me like a king. And consequently, that inspires me to continuously make and devotionally and passionately make that decision to love my wife continuously and ever so strong and emphatically and ever so etherical, ever so strong, you know, because I am respected and respect inspires me to love. And with women, it is love that inspires you to honor and respect. It's called an invigorating cycle.
Yeah.
So you have to sell the love and respect phenomenon. That's the seventh way to propose as an alpha male. What do you got to say about it?
Oh my goodness. Power packed. ManCave.
ManCave.
There you have it. I mean,
ManCave.
you know, you've been given some tools, you know. It's up to the man to go to work, you know, take some notes, and how do I do it?
You got to listen to this as many times as you can and make sure that you're taking notes and you're making that part of, you see, Robert Greene is something so powerful. He says seduction is like a school of science. The more you practice, the more you master. All right? The more you master the art thereof. Because what happens is, if you continuously practice, it becomes a part of who you are.
Yeah.
That you don't need to go back to notes
Yeah.
and read anything to help you do it.
Yeah.
Just becomes part of who you are.
Gives you the confidence.
You even invent ways to propose.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You invent ways. You come up with ways. You look at a woman. If you're saying you look at a woman and you know exactly what to say to her to make her give you attention. You know what I'm saying? And that's very important, guys. It's very, very key. It's very, 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 very key. You see, the issue with Adam, Barbara, was that he was not a man of many words. That was his number one problem. You can't just wake up and say, this is the bones of my bones, the flesh of my flesh, and I'll call her a woman. And then you stop there. How do you make sure that the conversation is continuous so that the snake will not talk to her? Because the issue with the snake is that Adam was out and he wanted some sort of, you know, silence. Because remember, Adam was born originally alone. So the number one weakness of a man is to isolate himself for the longest time. And when you isolate yourself for the longest time, you leave a woman vulnerable. Because, guys, maybe let me put it this way. Love you will forgive me. Women want to be lied to. I want that to sink in. Women want to be lied to. And if you are not an articulate, cerebral, intellectual liar, you're going to have a serious problem.
Hey.
If you run out of stories, create stories for your wife, because she loves stories. You know, I mean, how many times did I tell you, by the way, the story I was telling you 2 weeks ago, it's not real. I was just talking. And she was blown away, laughing all the way. Because she was like, really, did he say that? By that time, that character, there's not even a, you know, to a point now, she actually begs me to lie to her. How many times did you say, I know the story will not be true, but please tell me a story. Women love stories. Listen, this is ManCave. I'm with the First Lady, and we love you so much. You know, if you're male, if you're masculine, and if you are a man, this is the material for you. What do you have to say?
Thank you for inviting us to ManCave. It was a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful insight.
you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Blessings.
This is the man's world. I'll see you next time on ManCave. Bless you.